Inside an industrial complex in Yokkaichi, Japan, workers at a Mitsubishi Materials plant were performing what should have been a routine maintenance job. It was a normal winter afternoon. Machines hummed. Tools clanked against metal. Workers followed procedures they had done countless times before. But at 2:05 p.m., everything changed. An explosion ripped through the maintenance area. Within seconds, the blast killed 5 workers and injured many others. What caused this deadly explosion? And how did a simple cleaning procedure turn into a fatal disaster? This is the story of the Mitsubishi Yokkaichi explosion. Yokkaichi is one of Japan's major industrial cities. Located in Mie Prefecture, the city is home to a massive industrial zone filled with refineries, chemical plants, and manufacturing facilities. Among them stood a plant operated by Mitsubishi Materials Corporation. The factory produced high-purity silicon, an important material used in electronics, semiconductors, and solar panels. Producing this material requires extremely complex chemical processes. Hydrogen gas, high temperatures, pressurized systems, and highly specialized equipment. One of these machines was called a heat exchanger. Its job was to transfer heat between chemical processes while safely handling gases used during silicon production. But on January 9th, that machine became the center of a deadly accident. Earlier that day, workers had removed the heat exchanger from the production line for cleaning. This was routine maintenance. Over time, chemical residues build up inside industrial equipment, and if they aren't removed, they can affect production or even damage machinery. The cleaning process involved flushing the equipment with chemicals to dissolve the buildup inside. After washing the unit, workers began the final stage of maintenance. They needed to remove the top cover of the exchanger. Several employees gathered around the equipment. Some were Mitsubishi workers. Others were subcontractors assisting with maintenance. To them, this was another normal job, something they had done many times before. But inside the machine, something dangerous was still present, something invisible, something deadly. At 2:05 p.m., workers loosened the bolts holding the heat exchanger closed. As the lid was lifted, an explosion erupted. The blast tore through the maintenance area with devastating force. Metal fragments were launched through the air. Workers nearby were thrown to the ground. Some never had a chance to escape. 5 men were killed in the explosion. 3 were Mitsubishi Materials employees. 2 were subcontractors working alongside them. More than a dozen others were injured. Emergency sirens echoed through the industrial complex. Firefighters and rescue crews rushed to the scene. Fortunately, the explosion did not ignite a large fire or trigger a chain reaction inside the plant. But the damage had already been done. 5 workers had lost their lives in seconds. Investigators quickly began searching for answers. How could routine maintenance cause such a powerful explosion? The focus turned to what remained inside the heat exchanger. During silicon production, hydrogen gas is used in the manufacturing process. Hydrogen is extremely flammable if it mixes with oxygen in the right conditions. Even a small spark can trigger an explosion. Investigators believed that residual chemicals and hydrogen gas remained trapped inside the equipment. When workers removed the lid, fresh oxygen rushed into the chamber. The mixture of hydrogen and air created an explosive atmosphere. Moments later, it detonated. Following the accident, Mitsubishi Materials halted operations at the plant. Authorities launched a detailed investigation, Experts examined the maintenance procedures, the equipment design, and the safety systems involved. One major question was whether the equipment had been fully purged of gases before the maintenance work began. Another concern was whether additional safety checks could have prevented the accident. The company later formed a special accident investigation committee. Their goal was to determine exactly what went wrong and how to prevent it from ever happening again. The explosion shocked the local community. Industrial accidents are rare in Japan, and the deaths of 5 workers sent ripples through the country's manufacturing sector. Mitsubishi Materials issued public apologies and expressed condolences to the victims' families. The company also reviewed its safety systems and introduced new safety measures at its facilities. But for the families of those workers, no investigation or safety reform could undo the loss. 5 men had gone to work that day expecting to return home. They never did. Industrial facilities rely on complex machines and powerful chemical reactions. When everything works correctly, the system runs safely. But when something goes wrong, the consequences can be catastrophic. The Mitsubishi Yokkaichi explosion of 2014 remains a tragic reminder of the dangers workers face in heavy industry and the importance of strict safety procedures. Because sometimes, even routine maintenance can turn deadly.